Manchester United won, Chelsea 3 in a disappointing result today and performance. Absolutely shocking, man. Got the final word today after speaking to everyone and seeing everyone's reaction. And everyone's just bitterly disappointed. At the end of the day, we got rinsed. We got battered. And you know what? I'm going to start with depicting it like this. I'm going to start on Solskjaer. For me, switching to the back five was just the wrong decision. It was just the wrong decision. And I'm not saying that because hindsight's a wonderful thing. I said it from even before. I was so surprised at that. I feel like the players feel like they're past playing that. And certainly as fans, secondly, we feel like we're past playing that. We're better than that now. When are we going to go against the big teams and go, right, you worry about us? You know, what we had to do in the past to beat Chelsea, to beat Man City, is what we had to do within that team, is what we had to do in that stage of our development, in that stage of our progression, our rebuild. I think we're past that. We don't need to revert back to these negative tactics. Next year, when we play Liverpool, City, Spurs, Arsenal, whoever, Chelsea again, are we going to play 5 again? Is that just what we're going to play against all the big teams? I don't get that. I understand that Solskjaer had to make changes to the team. I don't think anybody should be criticising him for doing that. We can't just keep playing that same 11. We know how important Wednesday is. And even Chelsea, they made changes too. But to lose 3-0 in the manner that we did, I just thought that from a tactical point of view, from a coaching point of view, from that side of it, I think they stitched the players up. Let me just adjust my camera. I think they stitched the players up. I think that it's been so long since they played that. They've been playing so well. Not playing that formation. It's almost like that formation, that way of playing is out of their system. And what Chelsea showed today is that they've actually got the players probably better suited to play that right now. They were more adaptable. They adapted to that formation better than us. They adjusted to that formation better than us. And they were all over us. We did okay in the first 5 minutes, but after that, it was slowly building the momentum for Chelsea. And the writing was on the wall from early. Like, we were just conceding chances, conceding possession. Couldn't get our forwards into the game. Some people have had a go at Dan James. Some people have had a go at Rashford. I saw them as both as poor as each other for different reasons. But I saw Rashford. I felt it more so for Rashford because he's been playing so well recently. And I just feel like this is what I mean about the formation kind of throwing the players under the bus. I look at Rashford. He was having to do so much work defensively to get out to Azpilicueta, who was a right centre-back, who was bombing on like a right-back. Then you had Reece James bombing on like a right winger. And then you had Willian bombing on like a right forward. It was just, so Brandon Williams was overrun on that side. And then you had to get Marcus Rashford pulling off the front to come in to fill in that gap and get him pushed back. Same with Dan James on the other side. They just never, ever got in the game. And I felt it for Rashford because he's been playing so well linking up. He looked like a player who was like, I just don't want to be playing in this system. Bruno had to try and come really deep to try and make stuff happen. All he was doing was trying to look for a ball over the top or a ball into Dan James. That wasn't working. Matic got swamped. Did it work with him just in there as a 2? Probably not. Fred didn't really get into the game, gave some balls away. At the back, I mean, now I've gone away from Solskjaer. Now I'm going into individuals. That was the first bit of what I wanted to depict. Now you've got to go into the individuals because changing the system is one thing, changing the formation is one thing, and setting the players out a certain way is obviously from the tactical side of it, from the management. But players, I always say, have to be held accountable. Harry Maguire, I don't know what he was playing at today. David De Gea. Let me spend a little bit of time talking about David De Gea. Look, I think there's this thing that you as a United fan, we always repay the loyalty to players. You want to be loyal to your players. You want to back your players. You want to support the players. And that's what we should be doing. 100%. But this thing of people saying, like, we need to repay him for what he's done for us. Here's my thing. We repaid David De Gea by giving him a 4-year contract or whatever it is we gave him for 300 grand a week. Plus, we've repaid the faith or the debt that we owed him, if you want to say. Has David De Gea dragged us out of situations that are unthinkable? Yes. Has David De Gea been the best keeper in the world for a couple of seasons, maybe 3 seasons? Yes. When he won those 4 out of 5 Player of the Years, which was bad in my opinion, I don't want to see that, but big up to him. He's been superb. But for the last 18 months, he's been poor. He's been really poor. At the beginning of that 18-month period, you're thinking, flipping X, want him to get it out of his system. He goes to the World Cup. It gets even worse. He comes back to the after that season, poor. Back end of last season, we're all saying he needs to sign his contract. His head's all over the place. He doesn't know if he's going to stay, doesn't know if he's going to go. Maybe Oli should drop him because he was playing poorly towards the end of last season. He signs the contract. He doesn't get dropped. He signs the contract. He comes back pre-season, does all right, obviously in pre-season, comes back for the new season. We're thinking, right, we should have our David De Gea back. He signed his new contract. His feet are under the carpet. We know he's staying. He's committed. We move on. He's got worse. He's got worse. And for me, I'm saying it's now David De Gea's turn to repay us again. When he signed that contract, this is a new chapter in his United career. Yes, he's carrying on because he's been here nearly 10 years, 10 years now, right? I understand that. But this thing of we have to just back him all the time because he's done so amazing for us, I just think it works both ways. He's done so amazing for us, so we wanted him to stay and we gave him a new contract. Some people don't even think he should have got that. He was lucky to get that, if you think about it. So for me, look, it's hard to say that Dean Henderson's a better goalkeeper than him at the moment. Well, at the moment on form, he probably is. But in terms of ability-wise, it's hard to just jump to that conclusion. I understand that. But I think David De Gea needs a real kick up the arse. He needs to know that he's close to losing his number one spot. And right now, he couldn't be further away from losing his number one spot. And I can't explain it. He's definitely declined. He's still going to save shots. You know, he's a goalkeeper. But the mistakes he's making are almost unforgivable. When I watched that second goal back, initially, I put it on Brandon Williams because he's part of it. He played an awful ball. But as a defender, you're almost saying, go and shoot from there. Go and shoot from there, Mason Mount, because you're not going to score from there. It has to be a worldie. David De Gea, he wasn't even at full stretch. The ball's right on his hand, on his palm. Shocking. So that's my piece on De Gea. I think we need to bring Henderson in. I would actually bring Henderson in and I'd play Henderson from the start. And when he needs a rest or he's not playing very well, bring De Gea back in. Let De Gea know that he's in for a run for his money. Make him earn his money again, because I don't want to see a player who has lost his form, or no, it's not even form anymore, who has declined so badly that he can't recapture his best form and then not be challenged. That's the worst thing, because it's just like he's in a comfort bubble to me. That's what I see with David De Gea. Shocking today. But again, not just him, all across the back line. I thought Brandon Williams had a bad game today. Wasn't his usual self. I think a lot of that is to do with, obviously, he hasn't played for a long time. Young boy as well is always going to have bad games. That's absolutely fine. He'll learn. But also the formation change maybe didn't help. I don't know. Chelsea were just on us. We've got to give credit to Chelsea. They were very honest, very hardworking, very intense. They didn't give us an ounce to move in, and we just didn't have anything to answer that. Wan-Bissaka, I'm concerned. Since lockdown, he hasn't been great, especially the last 3 games. From Villa onwards, it's been really bad. He's been really bad. And it feeds back into this thing that I say about Wan-Bissaka. I love how good he is defensively. Massively brilliant defensively. He's brilliant. Superb. Best right back in the league defensively. But I always say, in a year's time, maybe 2 years' time, 18 months, whatever, I feel like he just wouldn't have kicked on enough with his feet. That's just how I see it. I know ball, and he's just not comfortable on the ball. He's just not comfortable on the ball. People will say, what are you talking about? He gets past players and he whips in across. Yes, when there's space to do that, can do that. But against teams that are starting to say, let Wan-Bissaka have it, what's he going to do? I think there's an issue there. I'm definitely not going to write him off. I think it's something he can work at and can improve. But I just don't think he's ever going to be fantastic in that department. I get worried when he's on the ball for too long. I get worried he's going to give it away. Do you know what I'm saying? So I will say that Lindelof wasn't great at all today. Lets Giroud get across him for that first goal just before half-time. De Gea could have done better as well for that. Harry Maguire, shocking today. Call him what you want. I don't care what Saeed says. Always defending him. He was shit today. You have to say it. He was poor. He was really poor, along with a load of other players. You can't just wrap him in cotton wool because he's the captain. And he's gone and cleaned out Eric Bailly by just not communicating, not reading the situation. That Eric Bailly can't see what's behind him. He's going to win a header. Harry Maguire's got to look at that and go, do you know what? Let me just hang back. I'll pick up any pieces. So that was the first thing. Misplaced passes after that. Not concentrating. Maybe the knock to his head had an impact on him, because the first 10 minutes, I'll give it to him, he did all right. He was handling Giroud fine. We didn't need 3 centre-backs against Giroud. And look, ultimately, we lost that game today for a whole mishmash of errors from start to finish, from the players right up to, excuse me, right up to the managers and Solskjaer, the manager Solskjaer, right up to that, because I think he set us up from the start wrong, and we just never recovered. And that mixed in with individual errors. You come out from half-time, you want to try and get back into the game. You've bought Martial and you've gone back to a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. You've gone back to that, and you want to see if we can feed ourselves back into the game. 2 mistakes, one from Brandon Williams and even worse one from De Gea, and the game's done. The game is done from that point. And then you bring on Pogba and Greenwood, and we're just chasing. I was fearful that it was going to get really, really embarrassing. It was bad, but it could have got a lot worse. Listen, we've lost the game. I'm not going to sit here and act like it doesn't matter, because it does, you know. But at the same time, we got to remember today's game wasn't a season-defining moment. It really wasn't. We've got so much to play for. We've got 2 very important games today. I think the bigger picture is, which we knew with the team selection anyway, was that we got an eye on Wednesday. We have to beat West Ham for me. I know there's, Ricky said we can draw and it might not be that bad because Leicester lost this. Listen, for me, you go and beat West Ham. We have to beat West Ham. And that's not going to be easy. They're going to be confident. They're going to be very confident. They're playing well at the moment. They got a big win against Watford. They scored some good goals, and Antonio's going to be at it. Declan Rice is going to be at it. You know what Mark Noble's like. He's a good, honest professional. He runs around. And, they've got players who are energetic. They're confident right now. So we're going to have to pull out the big guns again, get back to a 4-3-3 and put West Ham to the sword. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. We've got to raise it. But my biggest thing was I was worried that actually, having played the way we played tonight, how's that going to affect our confidence for Wednesday, So it's going to be nail-biting stuff on Wednesday. We've got to win the game. It is what it is in the FA Cup. Disappointed, yes, but it's not the end of the world. It was more the manner of what we lost. If we would have went for it, played 4-3-3 and lost 2-1 to Chelsea, so be it. That can happen. Or even if we'd have lost 2-0, it can happen. But the manner of which we lost, the manner of which the players just looked like they were just done with that formation themselves. I hope we never see that 5 at the back again. I just think we're past that. We've got to be patient as fans, and we've been patient to get to a point where we can play proper football and attacking football. That's an issue, going back to that. Also, what is an issue is that the last sort of 3 or 4 games, since Southampton, we've not known what to do when a team really sticks it on us. High energy, high press, high intensity. We just haven't seen it. We really haven't seen it. So, yeah, obviously no man of the match. I'm going to go over to player ratings now, which is going to be interesting. Roll on Wednesday, guys. Roll on Wednesday. As I always say at the end of these videos, make sure you follow me on social media, FlexUTD, across all social platforms. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Flex, as well. Got some exciting stuff coming up on that. And most importantly, make sure you're following the United Stand across all social platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube, smash a like on the video, and come over to the player ratings and check out what the guys have to say. Peace.